Good morning. English Ned here, broadcasting to you on my YouTube channel as I try to do every day. This morning, rather than go into drama, poetry, or stories, or music just yet, I have something that to me is, a very personal issue that I need to address. I've done this once before, and the thing is, I'm in show business my entire life. But now, since I've gotten a bit more financially secure in my old age, I have a hobby called being a landlord. So if you look on my channel, you're going to see I did a very, impassioned screed on people who bash landlords, and really set them straight and let them know what fucking assholes they are, and I don't hold back. Now, a couple of friends of mine saw it and told me that I should maybe think about using that as a comedy routine, or they told me that it was very funny. So I said, okay, maybe I should workshop these things as a way to break into stand-up, because it's something I've never done. So, but what I want to talk about today, I talk about issues that landlords have to deal with that the average person never thinks about. You think all we are is greedy bastards who sit back on our asses and collect fucking leeching rent out of poor people every goddamn day or month, right? That's what you think of us. Admit it. Probably, truth be told, before I became one, I probably thought the same thing myself. I know that I was a terrible tenant most of my life, but I regret that now. And I've told my landlord, who I still have, by the way, I've told him I do. And I try always to be the kind of tenant to him that I want my tenants to be for me. So here's my situation right now, okay? The county government where I live and where I have, back up a little bit more. Everybody knows the federal government has promised all this rent relief for all the poor renting people, right? And I'm great. I mean, I think it's the most wonderful thing that the federal government has done, maybe in my lifetime. But this is the problem. We just can't even fathom how much cash to Ukraine. And this is a cause I fully support, okay? I got someone that lives in Odessa right this moment that's being bombed who means the world to me. And that's a whole nother screed. But about how hard it is for a private citizen like me, even if you got the means, to help another private citizen in Ukraine. Why should it be? Why should the government deliberately make it difficult for you to help somebody, anybody, whether they're in Ukraine or wherever the fuck they may be, okay? So, back to what landlords have to deal with. So the feds have promised this rent relief. They leave it to the county. That's where it goes down. It's the county that's supposed to dole it out and pay the landlords. Now, I am carrying no fewer than 10 tenants who have not paid me rent, any of them, in months. Probably some going back 18 months, maybe even 2 years. That's the kind of a landlord I am. If somebody struggles, I'm not taking them to court. I encourage them to get assistance from the government. And supposedly, they've all been successful in doing that. Many at my urging. So, people ask me if I mind if they go get that. I go, what the hell? Why would I mind? Please, I'll take you down. So anyway, here's the rub. Because there's so much money in Ukraine, the feds don't have the fucking money to pony up to people like me. And that is the truth. So the county sits on the cases and makes the landlords twist in the fucking wind and tells them, you call them and you say, please, I'm desperate. Right now, Erie County owes me no less than $60,000 goddamn dollars. Even I'm a well-to-do person, much more than most people, and I'm very grateful for that. How many fucking months can I sustain a $60,000 deficit in my budget? I can't. My credit's ruined. I can't pay my workers. My buildings are going to shit, and the county government is after me for something else because they claim I don't keep my buildings up good enough. Now, my local bank has gotten into the battering act, and they shut down every one of my fucking business accounts. This is the oppression I'm dealing with this goddamn government bullshit. So, all you MAGA fucks out there who talk about government oppression, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now I'm going to calm down a bit. I've become so desperate for cash to pay my workers and to help people like I'm so accustomed to doing. Because frankly speaking, I live to serve others. My tenants, at least half of them, know how fucking good they have it to have me as a landlord. What do you think the single mom who I've been carrying for 18 months on my fucking crippled back thinks? But, so being as desperate, there are other tenants who you can give the moon to. And they just won't appreciate it. They don't give a flying fuck. Because they come from a class of wealthy entitlement. Which, as a class of people, is one that I absolutely despise. Probably because although I was not brought up wealthy, real wealthy, I was brought up in the better half of the middle class with all the other white people. So that's the fucking world I came from. And I learned, fortunately, as an adult, when I moved to fucking New York and got myself re-educated to reject all that bullshit. So here's the deal. I'm in a lot of fucking money trouble because of what the government is doing to me. I did something. I'm doing things I'd never think about doing. I'm writing checks to people when I know there's no money in the bank to pay for them. I simply have no choice. And fuck you, Citibank. That's a whole nother story. I'm not even going to talk about them today. The fucking banks in this country should be taken over by the government. It's plain and simple. We should have a federal banking system, a public banking system, and dispense with all these fucking private banks that rape people and treat people like filth and dog shit if they think they don't have money. I may be having money problems, motherfuckers, but it don't mean I'm poor. As you're going to find out. But I'm going to go back to entitlement. I'm so desperate that last week I had to go and talk to a couple of my tenants that I know are pretty rich. And these are people I've been doing favors for years, okay? I've been carrying them. They're paying me rents that are at least $200 less than I can get on the market if I choose to throw them out. And they don't have any fucking lease anyway. So they got no leg to stand on. If I say out of the fucking building in 30 days, you go. Well, I called two of these people. One, when he found out the whole deal and that I was in trouble and needed help, couldn't get his ass to my front door fast enough with cash. And so I said, well, you don't get a rent increase. And, you ever need a favor, I know how to return a favor. And I always return favors. I never fail on that. So anyway, the other tenant that I was having to go to with my hat in my fucking hand, decided that although I did the same thing with both of them, spoke to them for about 3 days, set this up, explain my situation, what I needed and all that, right? The other tenant, after I have her check and haven't even cashed it, decides to tell me that she didn't like me coming out and banging on her door and strong-arming her for 2 months' rent. Now, I'm not going to even dignify saying that I've got evidence that I can disprove that. Fuck that shit. I don't have to. I'm the fucking landlord. She really fucking pissed me off. With all the goddamn favors I've done for this, She comes back when I'm in a fucking hour of severe need. Yes, honey, I hear you, but I'm busy right now. I'm in an hour of severe need, and she can't be gracious enough when she's living on my dime to $200 a month. She's costing me $200 a month by staying in my fucking building, and she can't be gracious enough to pay me 2 months ahead in rent when I'm desperate. So what do you think I did this morning? I told her to get the fuck out of the building at the end of next month. So if you think I'm a bastard landlord for that, you can think so. I don't care. I don't agree with you. I think the tenant's a fucking ingrate, and I don't want her around. Because the thing is, I can offer her a $200 increase. But why the fuck would I want to? I've got that $200 increase whether she takes it or not. So why would I want to keep an idiot in my fucking building that poisoned a perfectly good relationship deliberately just due to sheer stupidity? I don't want to look at her. I don't want to think of her when I go into my fucking building. So, she thought I was strong-arming her? This is how English Ned strong arms. I wonder if she's ever been strong-armed really before. But I doubt I'm ever going to know.